Happy Monday, y'all. Shout out to everyone that has been waiting. We appreciate your patience, guys. We are live, our first live of the week. It's about to be March, but I did want to take this time out to say thank you to everyone that donated to our Black History Month fundraiser. We reached over our goal. You still have time to donate. If you would like to donate, check out some of our previous videos from the month and feel free to donate what you can. Share the video. We appreciate everyone that donated, that shared the video, that helped us reach our goal of over $2,000 for the sentencing project. So thank you to everyone that donated. So excited for this recap. I literally, as you know, as I always do, I rewatched the episode and I watched the after show that they put on YouTube. And we have to get into that. But before we get into that, let's do what we usually do. Like the video if you haven't liked the video already. Share the video on your Twitter, on your Instagram, with your cousin, with your brother, your sister, your favorite person to talk Housewives with. We have to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 2 Reunion Part 1. And I got things to say. I've got things to say. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are live on multiple platforms. TikTok, head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube page if you haven't already. We are live also on the Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. We are also live on Twitch and Twitter at the Kempire. For those that want to follow me on social media, trust and believe you are getting different content, under a minute hot topics, under a minute reality TV recaps. Follow me on those platforms and follow me on Twitter. I'm live tweeting shows that I don't talk about on any other platforms, like Inventing Anna. So be sure to follow me at the Kempire or at Kempire Radio or at Kempire Daily on Twitter. Yes, shout out to everyone in the chat. Guys, don't forget to drop your crowns, your elephants, and let me know where you're watching from. I'm watching from New York City. Let me take a sip. I'm taking a sip from my coldest water bottle. Okay. I know a lot of you are like, where are you, Kempire? I'm here. I'm right here. What's going on, everyone? Shout out to everyone. Shout out to our mods in the on multiple platforms that are watching. We are going to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but let's talk a little bit about the after show. So in the after show, your girl Jen Shah is leaning in. You may have recalled that she talked about on this season after she was arrested for fraud. Let's not forget, she was arrested for fraud, 2 counts of fraud, where she's facing 50 years in federal prison up against one of the best in our federal government when it comes to attorneys. The Southern District of New York. They have a very high success rate in winning these cases. All right. That's just a rumor on the street, but not really a rumor. But as you also may know, in regards to these charges, Jen Shah is the only one fighting them. Everyone else has copped a plea, including Stu Chains. Stuart Smith, her first assistant, he has copped a plea. Well, Jen Shah thinks that this is a joke. I don't want Jen Shah to be miserable on the show. I do actually like her light energy and fun times that she has with Heather. However, it also feels like she's making a mockery of the court. She was asked during the reunion if her attorneys like the fact that she's on the show or even attending the reunion, and she jokingly said, oh yeah, they love it, but they really don't. They really don't. In the after show, Jen Shah leans into the Kim Kardashian comment that she made during the show, and she says, I would love if Kim Kardashian would represent me. You know, she always goes for, you know, the people that are unjustly convicted and da-da-da. And a lot of you in the comments when I posted about this have been saying, but you're not innocent. Look, I don't know if she's innocent or not. You already know what I believe in regards to the whole Jen Shah situation. She has to go through the process. This is the process. This is what makes America great. Okay? However, we have to remember, Kim Kardashian, although she has used her platform for a lot of good for freeing our brothers and sisters from jail, however, she is not an attorney yet. Okay? I know she did just pass the baby bar. Didn't she just pass the baby bar? Danielle says Jen Shah is not Kim K's type of client. Lisa is reminding us again, Kim is not an attorney yet. And even if she was an attorney, I mean, that's not the one I'm going to really go to. I'm probably going to go to the attorney that went through law school, that took the courses. And that's no shade to anyone that has, some people say it's harder, the process that Kim K is going through. But that's not the attorney I'm going to hire. Not going up against the Southern District of New York. No, I'm not going to Kim K. What she wants is to make this more publicity out of this. That's what Jen Shah wants to do. But we will talk more about Jen Shah and her. She literally is she's giving a to the law. This is not going to play well for her in court. This is not going to play well for her in court. Have they offered her a plea deal? No word on that. No word on that. I don't think so. They got everybody else. They don't need Jen Shah. There's nothing of value that she can add to them at this point. She's supposed to go to court literally next month, which is tomorrow. She's not going to court tomorrow, but next month she's supposed to go to court. Sidebar, Mary Cosby, if you want to see some last bits of Mary Cosby, she's also included in the after show. And she says, you don't want to know what I think about Jen Shah and if I think she's guilty, because I'm not going to lie. I'm so mad at Mary Cosby for not attending this reunion. This is a 3-part reunion, but no Mary Cosby. We find out at the top of this reunion why Mary Cosby decided not to attend the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. And that is because of everyone talking about her church. We've been talking about her church, though, since season 1. But as you know, all of these details have boiled over. People, family members are doing interviews, but they've been doing interviews since last year. But also because Whitney called her a predator. Whitney has since posted on her social media and apologizing for using that word. However, if you watch the reunion, she leaned in. The only reason why Whitney apologized was because of the backlash that she received once people found out what she said. That was the only reason why, because at that reunion, she leaned in on it and she justified it. I literally wrote down one of the things that she said about that. She said that she says that Mary would not afford her a conversation. And all of you, like myself, is like, afford you? What in the privilege? Why does Mary Cosby have to give you a conversation? Are you a member of her church? I know you attended once with your father. Oh, I thought of a really terrible thing to say, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. And if you've been following our recaps of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, then I enjoy Whitney. I enjoy Heather. But watching them in this reunion, and I know that they're pot stirring, they were I'm looking at them like, Casey said, say it, please. Nope, I'm not going to say it. It's too below the belt. And Casey was saying, I do want to say shout out to everyone that's watching from around the United States, but also around the world. We appreciate you guys. I saw you dropped all of where you guys were located. Appreciate everyone watching. We do some of our reality TV recaps a little bit earlier for our international folks. So don't forget, we will be doing Real Housewives of New Jersey, our recap Wednesday afternoon. So stay tuned for that, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. But every single week we do our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City at this time. So shout out to our after work crew. Shout out to those that are still watching abroad, and it's really, really late. Melinda, thank you so much for the super chat. Melinda says, calling Mary a predator was dead wrong. Even if she had an affair, it was a grown-ass man. Don't forget to shimmy Kim. I haven't shimmied in a while. Thank you so much, Melinda. We appreciate you. And shout out to our TikTok fam that was a part of our watch parties. Shout out to our watch parties. More stuff coming, guys. More stuff coming. Join our texting community. That way you can always be alerted to what's happening and what we're working on. So stay tuned for that. Of course, tomorrow we will be doing our watch party for the Real Housewives of New Jersey exclusively on our TikTok. So be sure to follow me on TikTok. Everything is at TheKempire, and join our texting community at 347-647-2372. Or head on over to textkempire.com. Don't forget, data and message rates will apply. Daniel says, oh, I liked Whitney and Heather. I liked Whitney and Heather during the season, but watching them during the reunion is as if, and I can appreciate loyalty, but either one either one just couldn't do wrong. They had each other's back. We understand this is a Real Housewives show. That's how it usually works. But and look, and I'm in a conflicted place because I don't love Lisa. I don't love her either. I have to say I enjoyed Meredith a little bit more this episode than I have over the years because I've given it to Meredith. I've called for her to be fired. I'm still a little bored with Meredith though. Let's be honest, I'm still bored with Meredith. But let me stay on track. Let me stay on track. So before the reunion even starts, as you know, Andy Cohen likes to go into the rooms and talk to the ladies. And one of the things that he says to Jen before they even go out to the reunion set, which I actually kind of liked. I kind of liked it, and I'll tell you why in a second. And he gives a heads up to Jen Shaw because, rumor on the street was that Andy Cohen had given the questions to Erica Jane early before the reunion. And he came to her to let her know on camera, of course, that was a rumor. That wasn't true. That was not true. So he was not about to give her any questions. Not like she was going to answer it anyway. If anything, Jen Shaw's a pro at lying. Hunter in my TikTok chat says the reunion was dull. Honestly, rewatching it and watching it the first time around, it was pretty dull. It was pretty dull. You know why it was dull? Because I felt like I was watching season 1 when there's a fight between Heather and Lisa again. And I didn't expect it because, season 2 ended where they were in a good place. And here we are again with those two battling it out. And to be honest with you, I'm not that interested. I'm working on my Lisa Barlow. I'm not that interested. I'm working on it because it's definitely not New York. I don't know what that is. The vocal fry. Lisa, please stop. And this is part of the reason why people do not find Lisa genuine or authentic, because she comes across in her behavior and with that voice as fake, inauthentic. Oh God, sorry, y'all. TC says, shockingly, I was Team Meredith. Me too. I don't know if I was Team Meredith, but I was here for Meredith. We will get to that. So Andy goes to all the rooms, and what Andy does in the beginning. Whatever, Andy. Again, we have Andy moderating a conversation on race. I've already talked about this. And we don't need him doing that, to be honest with you. We don't need him doing that. Daniel says, Lisa is fake, but I like her dress. Honestly, I enjoyed her dress more after a while of maybe because all the other outfits were terrible. But you know what? I have to give it to Meredith. Hair up was gorgeous. Her hair and her makeup, she looked so youthful. She looked really, really good. From here down, thank you so much. Someone says, I like your content, and I agree with Hunter about it being dull. It was dull. It was dull. Back to the reunion, though. So once they get into the nitty-gritty of the reunion, of course, Andy Cohen reveals why Mary Cosby decided not to come. We already talked a little bit about that. You guys will have an opportunity to call in. Let's get some of those likes up. We're already at almost 600 people in the room. Like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. So Mary Cosby, as you already know, we've told you this story multiple times already at this point. Mary Cosby had called Andy Cohen on New Year's Eve and expressed some concerns that she had about the ladies, the show, and sort of probably hinted at that she was not going to attend the reunion. He kind of already knew that she wasn't going to attend the reunion, but he encouraged her to attend the reunion so she could defend herself, so that people couldn't spin a whole narrative. And honestly, I really wish Mary Cosby would have attended the reunion. I really do. Even if she didn't talk a lot, just the eyes and just her little comments. Even Heather gave her, she's like, you know what? I rewatching the show, and this just could be Heather because she knows that a lot of people like Mary. It could be just her trying to lean into that. And Mary called her racist, remember, before the season even started. So it could be a little bit of that. But Heather, I was getting a little fake from you this reunion, to be honest with you. And I've loved Heather, throughout the season and last season, but I was getting a little fake from you. I don't know if I really believe that you loved Mary Cosby. And Jenny was like, how could you like Mary Cosby? She called your cousin a whore. And she was like, she called you a whore? And Whitney was just like, yeah, she called me a whore. I don't remember that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Look, we've said Mary Cosby, although we've had some funny moments with her, she's also had some terrible moments too, especially this season. But moving on, Mary Cosby wasn't there. Of course, Andy Cohen has to ask Jen about her criminal case, and they got us with that edit. You remember the reunion trailer where it made it seem as if Jen Shaw didn't know her charges? That was completely an edit to make it exciting and make Jen look crazy. It was an edit. Jen, again, says that, she's fighting her case and, fighting for her innocence. Here in this country, you are innocent until proven guilty. I'm just going to say that. Tara says, Kempire, you were the highlight of the reunion last night. Mary was truly missed. Thank you, Tara. Oh my goodness. Petra says they really sat there in their ugly outfits and had a conversation about a Black woman and racism on Black History Month. And they were just, and this is why I always say, Andy, this is just advice so you can continue with your franchise and make millions. I know you have a big ego, but you could at least start having other people host these reunions. This is not for me to host a reunion because I'm fine where I am. I will elevate in other ways. However, there are plenty of people already employed by NBC, Universal, and Bravo that you could have host these reunions that would be able to moderate a conversation on race in a better manner. He just sort of puts it out there and leaves it. Let me just say thank you. Hold on. Ooh, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Tracy, my Taurus sister. Tracy says, Taurus bro, I am not a Mary fan, but Heather and Whitney is hitting me in my in my ancestors, and I don't like it. I enjoyed them more the first season. Tracy, we see each other. Wait, let me shimmy because y'all like it when I shimmy. Thank you so much for the super chat. I agree. In my opinion, what's going on, girl? Let me do the shimmy before I forget. Let me shimmy. If you're new here, that's what we do when we get a super chat. In my opinion, says, I was mad they kept trying to paint Mary as a racist. Jenny trying to play victim when she is the real racist. Love you, Kempire. Thank you so much for the super chat. Again, at the very beginning of the reunion, some people may have missed this or didn't know the timeline. Jenny Wen's racist post came out after they filmed the reunion. They did post a disclaimer at the very beginning. Cheryl, thank you so much for the super chat. Cheryl says, Jenny being upset that Mary didn't open up to her during the spa was so cringe. What new info Jenny said that would have made anyone open up more. So, of course, Andy Cohen, probably part of the reason why, they want to add more diversity to the franchise because they've been criticized for that, brings up, how was it for you, Jenny, growing up as, I forgot his exact words, but growing up as a woman of color in Utah? So Jenny uses that moment to be like, well, very difficult, which we know Asian hate is real. Asian hate is real. But you know what else is real? Jenny Wen's Facebook post that she posted on her social media. She posted it. Not some I was about to, and I don't even curse. Jenny, when you did not have a social media manager post those things. First of all, social media, and we've talked about this multiple times, a social media manager, and if you did hire someone to repost a bunch of things, then they are not a social media manager. They're reposting. Social media managers are supposed to create in your individual content. Tushti? I'm just calling you lazy. Thank you so much for the super chat. We all knew Jenny was racist, the way she kept attacking Mary every time she saw her. And also, I love the fact that, of course, they bring up the conversation of Black scent again. And I love the fact the editors brought up all of the instances And she said, I have an accent. She said this on Watch What Happens Live. She also said that, oh, I grew up in Long Beach. If you're from Long Beach, is there an accent? Look, might be. There might be. Because here in New York, there are different accents. I can tell when I hear a New York or New Jersey accent. There are some accents. Is there a Long Beach accent? Somebody tell me. Jesus says, Asian hate is real, of course. Let's ask the girl from Beverly Hills, Crystal Kungminkoff. But Jenny, being a racist, doesn't get to feel like a victim. And you may also recall when all that was revealed, Crystal was one of the first people to unfollow her. And she even asked our friend, Real Housewives of Dallas star, Dr. Tiffany Moon, to unfollow her as well. They both did. Because they both have been big advocates for the anti movement that has been happening when it comes to people that are Asian. And I'm just like, I appreciate them in solidarity, letting the world know, like, we are unfollowing her. We do not agree with anything that Jenny Wen has said. But I love the fact that beyond just the Facebook racist things that she reposted, the editors, as I said to you before, the editors were like, well, this is what people were viewing as a black accent. This is what people were viewing as microaggressions coming from you. And they showed it multiple times, the of the head and being overly aggressive towards Mary. Mary's not innocent. We know that. We know Mary is not innocent. But before we get to more about Mary and racism and things like that, and that's what we're going to talk about in a second, because I had to look something up, so I had a good definition for you. If you just joined us, of course, we're talking about part 1 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 2, reunion. If you're watching the replay of this, as always, I want to know your thoughts and how you felt about the reunion, how you would rate the reunion. And of course, live chat, if you could rate the reunion from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? Let me say thank you. We got a couple of super chats. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. You don't have to, but we appreciate it. You help keep the lights on here. Thank you. Casey says, I'm sorry, that is not a Long Beach accent. Greetings from Cali. See? Thank you so much, Casey. Thank you for breaking it down, and thank you for your generosity. Oh, wait. I have to remember to shimmy. Nikolai's here too. Nikolai says, I'm from Cali. My BFF went to Poly High School in Long Beach. I don't think LBC has an accent. In a lot of the areas, predominantly black, but that doesn't get her a black card. Ooh, I think that was a read. Azania, thank you so much for the super chat. Azania says, Robin Dixon voice. So glad Mary was not here. I will not be here for season 3. Just watching to wrap this up with you, since you are the reason I am even watching. Oh, thank you. If this isn't love, don't know what it is. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Oh wait. Let me look at the ratings. Ooh, these ratings are bad. Okay, a solid 8, not a 0.5, a 4.5. 5, 6, 8, 4, 5. I'm seeing a lot of 5s and 6s, which isn't bad, but usually the reunion is a little bit more juicy. Rakita says, I rated annoying. I like that. That was different. Okay. All right. Not Jamila with the 7.3, a 1, a 5 or 6. It was kind of slow. If I had to rate it, I would probably give it a 5. Just because I told you multiple times, I do believe that the reunion, we got a lot of ratings in here, y'all. I do believe that the reunion was necessary because I don't think it was just Mary that carried the season, but I did want Mary there. And they, of course, are talking a lot about Mary in part 1, and I'm sure in part 2. But moving on. Moving on. So Heather and Jen discussed their issues. So, they had issues at the very beginning of the season, but they got over their issues, and very conveniently, because they equate what Jen Shaw has said about Heather on social media to other fans in DMs, is audio of her saying really nasty things. I'm actually shocked that Heather has been able to become good friends with Jen again, because she really did say some nasty, nasty things, but beyond calling her Shrek and other things. Thank you so much, Dom. Dom says the LBC accent only comes out for Mary, though. Ooh. Look. Ooh. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dom. Ooh, let me shimmy. Let me take a sip from my coldest water bottle, guys. If you haven't gotten your coldest water bottle, let me post up the discount code. And thank you in advance for supporting the channel by getting something for yourself. All right. Yes, I am still using my big gallon. I just pour the gallon in here for the live. Some of the gallon, obviously. All right. Micah says, why would Heather forgive Jen Shaw for the nasty comments, but not Lisa Barlow? So Lisa Barlow apparently sent a text to Angie Harrington, who was not there at the reunion, because Angie tried. Look, this is the second season of Angie Harrington trying to be relevant on the show, and it fell flat. It fell flat. And Angie does have the lifestyle. I think just Angie tried too hard. But they had a text conversation, which she shared with, of course, Whitney and Heather, because their new besties went to Cabo together. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jessica, for the super sticker. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Petra says, it's the Long Beach accent, the Mary edition. All right. Lusana, we're going to talk about this. But she says, technically, Mary can't be racist, thinking about it systematically. Jenny, either, because they are minorities, but they are both prejudiced. Now, I am still pissed that Jenny always used a black accent. We're going to talk about that. And that was so important what you said, because that's exactly, I looked up a definition. We're going to get into the definition in a second. But Heather and Lisa, of course, start with a back and forth. Their back and forth goes on throughout this reunion. And I'll say this again. I'm not interested in a back and forth between Heather Gay and Lisa Barlow. It's not interesting to me. And it was very surprising because we didn't expect it again for a second season. And of course, with Mary not being there, it's like, oh, this is all we're going to be going back and forth on. Jen and Heather get over their issues, but then this leads back to Heather directing her anger towards Lisa and the things that Lisa was saying. And they were saying that Lisa calling her a Lego was fat shaming. Lisa's like, I never said that. I never said that. I'm really trying to work on my, I'm not a person that does not accents, that does impressions, but I want to work on my Lisa Barlow accent or impression. There we go. It's not an accent, because you would think she would have a New York accent, but she hasn't been in New York in years. All right. Nelly, thank you so much for the super chat. Nelly is motivated, says, oh, wait, let me shimmy. The worst reunion yet. Ooh, is it the worst reunion yet? As bad as their fashions? Jenny's comments about stop Asian hate took me to the toilet. She made me sick, and the way she treated Mary was so mean and cruel. Yeah, I think even if we didn't know what we knew about Jenny, I think based off of what we've seen this season, especially on that last episode, and she even says in this reunion, oh, I didn't throw it at her, I threw it at the floor. She even said this on her social media. You threw it in her direction. The reason why you didn't throw it at her was because you didn't want to face a lawsuit. You didn't want to face criminal charges like you did for Butterface. She calls him Butterface. Dewey, her husband. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says, racism versus prejudice. Let's learn the difference. Exactly. And we're going to today. Class is in session. So many of you bring it up. We're going to get into it in just a second. Let me just say thank you. Thank you all for supporting the channel. We appreciate you. Audra says, I'm glad they didn't gang up on Meredith. When she broke down about her family, I really felt for her. Thank you for that segue. We're going to talk about that as well, because Meredith does apologize to Jen and explains why she couldn't be there for Jen in that moment, couldn't forgive Jen fully in that moment. And it was because she was dealing with the death of her father. She says someone in her family also had some mental health issues. She was fighting with her sister at the time because her father had died. As you know, if you've ever lost someone in your life, that can really shake up a family. At first, I was like, why is Meredith crying? Is she just using this as an excuse? But no, she really broke down why she was going through what she was going through. Cheryl, thank you so much for another super chat. She says, they actually made me feel bad for Lisa. Hello, Jenny. Your friend needed you. That's not the person you want having your back. Lisa's going to be by herself, and that's why Lisa's going to probably leave the stage and lose her mind again with a hot mic moment. Okay. Melinda, thank you so much for another super chat. Melinda says, how hard did y'all laugh when Heather said Lisa acts like a bad impression of the girls in the outdated magazine she read as a teenager? I completely missed that. I need to go back and read. Thank you so much for reminding us, though. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, Lusana, for becoming a member of the channel. Guys, shout out to our team members, our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com. You don't have to become a member, but thank you to the members. We appreciate you guys as well. And of course, don't forget to show love to our moderators. So we're able to have these conversations, and it is a subscribers only live chat. Stay tuned for more of that and members only live chats as well. Okay. And we're going to add a new category to the membership. Not sure if it's going to be here or if we're going to add it to the Patreons, but stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Okay. 8th grade mean girl. 8th grade mean girl. I don't know. I have such mixed feelings about Heather and Whitney this episode, this reunion. It was just like, the ratings for Salt Lake City are not that great. Unwind and Dine with the Thompsons says, Heather acts like the girl who wanted to be a part of the cool girls. She was acting like this last season too. Her obsession with Lisa since season 1 is weird. I agree. And I think that was the only reason why Heather really tried to become friends with her this season. But she just couldn't. She couldn't become friends with her. And Heather, if Heather leaned into her own coolness, then I think we would like Heather more, because there's a lot about Heather that we do like. But when we see these sides of Heather, I know you're watching. When we see these sides of you, it's such a turnoff. Sister on the Move said, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, this reunion was lame, but I love the watch party. We did a watch party on my TikTok last night, right, y'all? This reunion episode rating was a negative 1.2. Damn. Lisa's Regina George. Damn. Isabel says, unpopular opinion. I love when you guys start out your comment like that, because sometimes it's the popular opinion, at least here. But if you're a mean, shady person, then it makes yourself free game for shade back, aka being called Shrek. Oh, well, that might be unpopular. But she forgave Jen. According to Jen, I called you Shrek because you were acting like an ogre. First of all, if you don't know, Jen Shaw said a lot worse than just Shrek about Heather Gay. The fact that she was able to forgive her, I think it was too strategic for the show, but it's also kind of sad. Like, girl, really? Is your self-esteem that low? But here we are. Guys, we will be dropping the call link in just a second. Let's get to, where are we? Let's get to 500 likes. We have almost 1,000 people in the room. We appreciate you. Let's get to 500 likes, and I'll drop the call link so you guys can share your thoughts, because I have plenty more thoughts. All right. So they bring up the whole Angie situation. As you know, at the top of the season, we almost forgot, because the season has been so damn long. We almost forgot about the Angie Harrington situation. Angie's been trying to get on the show for a very long time. And I'm not going to delve into the back and forth. Did Lisa really mess up the Angie's charity event? What happened? Remember, Lisa has known Angie for years, over 20 years of friendship, just thrown out the window. Whose fault is that? Angie and Lisa. I really don't believe that it's just Lisa in that situation. I believe that it is also Lisa. But Angie, I think, has been desperate to be on this show. Let me just get to these super chats before I forget them. Thank you so much, Dom. Bad weather are awful now, but still not as bad as Lisa. I'm so conflicted with that. There's no one I like on that stage. Sadly enough, I think I might like Jen a little bit more than Bad Weather. Broombell, shout out to you all the way in Amsterdam. I had an aha moment. Over the weekend when I was doing my Reiki classes about Amsterdam. This live chat is hot. I forgot my popcorn. Classes in session. Love you, Kempire and Kempire family. Taiwo, you'll let me know when you call in, because I know you're going to call in from Amsterdam. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Yes, guys, let's like the video if you haven't already. Lisa. And that's the thing. I feel like all of them are little producers. Veronica says Lisa keeps the plot moving. But I feel like Heather and Whitney also are trying to stir the pot. But now it's just coming across desperate. Exactly. Thank you so much for the super chat. Exactly says Jenny used her social media to support white supremacy. She may not have the power to be racist by definition. She promotes racist okay, come through. Exactly. She promotes racist ideologies. That is true. Okay, since we keep talking about this, I do want to bring up Andy does mention that Mary Cosby told him that she can't possibly be racist. I don't think Mary got there on her own. I think Mary watches all of the recaps and people talking about this. Mary does have wise moments, but I don't think that was one of them. I don't think that was one of them. So, I had to look it up because I've seen multiple different definitions, and I've said this before. And even other Black people will say, no, that's not true. Even Black people can be racist. But I think we've gotten something confused. So I had to look this up. So Andy Cohen puts that out there. And then, of course, Heather talks about Mary's, quote, racist comments throughout the season. And yes, Mary has made some terrible comments about groups of people on this show. And we've said that. We're not going to lean away from that. Okay. But let me break something down for you, because I felt like they did a great job. And shout out to our friends over in Canada, because this is from the Calgary Anti-Racism Education. And they break this down so much better. Racism versus racial prejudice. There is a difference, guys. So they say this. While assumptions and stereotypes about white people do exist, this is considered racial prejudice, not racism. Because they're talking about, let me just keep reading. They say racial prejudice refers to a set of discriminatory or derogatory attitudes based on assumptions derived from the perceptions about race and or skin color. Thus, racial prejudice can indeed be directed at white people, etc. White people can't, like white people can't dance, but is not considered racism because of the systematic relationship to power. So people get it confused when we say that a Black person or a person of color cannot be racist. That has to do with power. And because we do not have that level of power, that's what we mean that Black people cannot be racist. They go on to say this: when backed with power, prejudice results in acts of discrimination and oppression against groups or individuals. Yes, thanks, Canada. All right. Anyways, shout out to everyone in Canada. We appreciate you guys. Exactly. Luciana says Mary has made prejudicial statements for sure. Amen. It is power. That is the difference. And I get it why people, and I don't want this to be a situation where we're telling people, oh, you're wrong. But this is why you're wrong. Look, this is why. There is a clear difference. And I think a lot of people, including myself, did not fully understand this. Okay. All right. Let me just check. Let me check the chat here, guys. We are almost at 400 likes. Let's get to 400 likes, and I'll consider dropping the call-in link so you guys can call in and share your thoughts. Okay. Back to my notes. So as I said to you before, Andy Cohen brings up the use of a Black scent from Jenny Wen. This is when Jenny defends herself and says, no, I have an accent from Long Beach, California. And I was very confused. Very confused by that. But then the editors bring up all other situations where Jenny was rolling her face or arguing with Mary. And it just seemed as if she was focused on Mary this season. And I think partly of that, besides even before we knew the Facebook posts and things like that, I think she was desperate to keep a position on the show. Very much why we saw that big blow up on the season finale. Jenny wanted another season. Jenny, in this reunion, admits that she watched the first season of Salt Lake City. She tried to have a moment. That's exactly what she was doing. That's why she targeted Mary during the season. She wanted relevance. And the only way that she could get relevance was by connecting herself and having an argument with someone else on the cast. And she targeted Mary. That's my opinion. Just saying. But by the end of this reunion, it's more back and forth between Heather, Whitney, and Lisa. Yes, we do have a moment that Meredith talked with Lisa, and of course they're going to delve deep because Heather kept on bringing up the hot mic moment. Look at the things that you said about your own friend. They're going to delve into that probably in part 2 of the reunion. But Meredith does stop the conversation. Do you think I had your back during the whole Angie Harrington situation? And she's like, I yes, you did, Meredith. Look, yes, you did. But before that, I forgot one thing. I mentioned it a little bit earlier on. There was some back and forth between Meredith and Jenny Wen. And that really was a priceless moment. And that's where I was like, okay, all right, I see you, Meredith. I see you, because Meredith went down bullet points. She went down bullet points on how not Angie, damn, Angie, you're lucky. I remembered your name. She went down bullet points that Jenny and her behavior throughout the season, because Jenny was like, you didn't have my back. You didn't correct Mary when she said those things about me. You, at one point, you even laughed. And Meredith was like, well, this is what you did throughout the season. And I did reach out to you after that lunch and apologize. And after that moment where Meredith owned up, where she was like, you know what, I could have, been more forthright in that instance and in regards to what Mary said about you. But when she went down, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she is an attorney. Was it the read for iconic read? No. What we look forward to, what we get from Potomac or what we get from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, it wasn't iconic, but I appreciate it. That's the one thing about Meredith. She can lose her cool, but in that instance, she was very controlled and she did not stutter. She was like, this, and this. I can appreciate that. While everyone's deflecting, she's actually bringing out facts. Did she prepare before the reunion? She better have. At this point in the Real Housewives franchise, if you don't prepare for a reunion or prepare some reads, then what are you doing here? Curvy Jerry says Meredith is a keeper. I'm still on the fence. Nada says, yeah, Meredith, she's not a reader. But I just need somebody that's a reader. Who can read a little bit? I mean, she's not, okay, no, she might be a little bit legendary. Mary, it might not be the most wittiest thing, but you're like, damn. Like when she was talking about Lisa and needing nutrients. It's just like, oh, all right, that makes sense. And funny at the same time. That's what we need from this reunion, and we're not getting it. We're not getting the expressions, the facial expressions from Mary. Even when they're not talking about her, the camera will pan to her, and you're like, or we might get a moment where she's like, women, Exactly. R says Mary is an accidental reader. Oh, Andrew says Mary is a reader, honey. Okay, all right, Andrew. No need for caps before Nightbot comes out and gets you. Just saying. All right, guys. Let me check the chat. Let me check the chat. Oh, we are almost at 400 likes. Why is it y'all have been here for 45 minutes, almost 1,000 of you guys. Why haven't you liked the video? Are you hate watching? Don't hate watch. Guys, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Another way of supporting the channel, head on over to the description of this video on other ways on how you can support the channel. Also, a new episode of my podcast, Kempire Radio, is now available, and it's titled, The Queen is Not Dead. I talk about a variety of things that I don't talk about anywhere else, so be sure to check that out, Kempire Radio, on your favorite major podcast platform. All right? All right. Robert says, tell him, Kempire. All right. Frederick, thank you so much for the super chat. Frederick says, I'm glad Mary didn't come to the reunion. Damn, really? I'm not. She doesn't articulate herself well and would have made her situation worse. Although it may have been made for good TV, the decision is best for her personally. Okay, I can agree with that. But if she prepared, I mean, look, I just feel like it's a lackluster part 1. I'm not excited for part 2 and 3. We will be watching and recapping it, but I'm also not excited for season 3. The ratings have been decent for Salt Lake City, but nothing to write home about. Zoe, thank you so much for another super chat. Zoe says, funny how they all remember the prejudice statements made by Mary, but forgot all the racist statements made by Heather to Jenny. Yes, thank you for my reminder, because they do bring up when Heather refers to Jenny as looking like an anime character, and she leans into it. Instead of apologizing, like, you know what? That wasn't my intention, but I understand how that would be considered derogatory. That's what you should have said, Heather. That's not what you said. You try to justify it. Well, you look like a character and da-da-da-da. No, because I always associate these types of comments, even if it's not someone that's of my race. I always associate, what if they said something similar, like when they call, Black women aggressive, or they make these very racist comments. And I try to put myself in that person's position. That is not that. Your response to that, Heather, was terrible. You should have just apologized and said, you know what, that wasn't my intention, but I was wrong for saying that. You didn't say that, though. Okay, hold on. Thank you so much, Obi, for the super chat. Obi says a lot of stories about Obi's tweet. Obi is highlighting other people's comments. We appreciate that, Obi, but you don't have to do that. Obi says lots of stories about her from multiple sources, but the way that they are coming at Mary doesn't sit right with me. Thank you, Tess. And Micah says she scrunched up her face so hard. Whatchamacallit? What's her name? I can't think of her name anymore. I thought it was funny, and if you watched the reunion with me last night, thank you, Obi, again. If you watched the reunion with me last night, I said this when Annie said, "Welcome to your first reunion." I just chimed in and was like, "And your last." Bye, Jenny. Not too sad to see you go, and that's not just because of your racist Facebook post. Honestly, what you gave throughout the season, and especially in that last episode, just screamed desperate. Oh, we didn't talk about this, though, because they do talk about Lisa's friendship with Jenny. And I was like, oh, this didn't age well. Oh, yeah. Dewey gave, I forgot which son she gave him, I forgot what exactly her words were, but she was like, oh, he gave at 2 years old. I was like, this is not aging well on how deep your friendship was. And then what you said on Watch What Happens, I haven't checked her Facebook in years. I'm getting really good at this. Ooh. Oh, an adjustment. Thank you, Stephanie. An adjustment at 2 years old. Thank you. Arija. Ooh. I'm getting too much. I'm getting too good at this Lisa impression. Feel free to screen cap it and post it on Twitter, y'all. Kempire's impression of Lisa. It's not great. It's not great, y'all. I'm not going to try and say it's great. Oh, see? Kalia says, Kempire, I love your Lisa voice. I'm working on it. Was he 2 months old? No, I think. Oh, yeah, it was 2 months old. 2 months. Oh, yeah. So Andy was like, you could do that? But to me, that said more about, like it says, Micah says, Kempire, your Lisa's getting better. But that's the thing. In that moment when they were talking about their friendship, I was just like, oh, these ladies were deep friends. So it makes me think, you didn't see her Facebook post? All right. I mean, I haven't been on Facebook in forever. I post and then I move, then I leave it. So, I mean, I can relate a little bit, to be honest with you. I've missed a lot of birthdays because I haven't really been checking my Facebook, like going through the feeds. So who knows? Oh, Yep, I got the same vibe from that. Lisa equal liar. Look, we already know Lisa is not the most honest person. She's not. She's not. Shay says, don't do Lisa like that. All right, all right, all right. Wait, hold on. Omar, why you have to read me for filth? He said, you sound like Jim Carrey from In Living Colors. Remember that? Okay, you're showing your age. All right, I'm gonna drop the call-in link because I know you guys have a lot to say, and you know what time it is. It's almost dinner time, so I ain't playing these games. But for those that are calling in, we don't need to go throughout the entire season. Make it quick and directly to the point. All right, no cursing, and of course, no derogatory comments. All right. Nicola, y'all just reading me for filth right now. All right, I didn't say it was great. I did say it was great. Okay. Thank you so much, Audra, for the super chat. Ooh, there we go. Audra says, was waiting for Meredith to give Lisa the little girl. See, that's what we really needed. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Tara says, Kempire, slow that Lisa voice down a bit and it will be spot on. Okay. But I do remember Jim Carrey's Vera from In Living Color. That brings me back. That brings me back. All right, let me drop the call in link because I'm talking a lot. All right, I'm talking a lot. Okay. And shout out to our replay crew. If you're part of the replay crew, let me know that you're part of the replay crew and your thoughts and how you would rate this episode. Was it a good part one for you? Honestly, it was boring. I think I enjoyed 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. If you were part of our watch party last night, I enjoyed that more. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, let me just pin this. Okay. Nelly, thank you so much for the super chat. Nelly says, my husband loved this show and called Heather Kurt Russell. What? I liked her last season, but now, no. Oof. I don't know. I'm still open to Heather, but I wasn't loving her. I wasn't loving her in this reunion. Her or Whitney, because I felt like they leaned into their very problematic comments and racist comments instead of apologizing for them. Just saying. Janice, thank you so much. Janice says, Kemba, your recaps are the best, better than the episodes for sure. Thank you. Appreciate that. Or just says it was a 5.5 for me. All right. All right. We're going to take some callers, guys. Callers, again, be brief and to the point, or I'm just going to cut you off. Okay. All right. Let me just post this up. Okay. There we go. Obi, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Obi?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
Brief and to the point. So this reunion reminded me why Salt Lake City was supposed to be that B, but something weird happened. I don't know what happened because this first reunion actually gave a lot, but it wasn't still giving what it was supposed to have gave. Considering the season, even with Mary's absence, sidebar, I think Bravo actually missed the mark by not hiring Angie as a housewife. What do you think? Okay, moving on. The only fault is everyone on the cast lied, actually, except one person. Would you believe who it is? Jen Shah. I'm giving her a pass on this one because of the accusations. You know, she's still innocent until proven guilty. Lisa denies bad mouthing bad weather to Angie. That was a lie because you know she's obsessed with control and loyalty. And like you said, when Meredith confessed to the amplified behavior, we also know that that's a lie because her reactions were very much normal and justified. With the petty actions of those two and the tattoo tears of that one. Lisa's isolation from the group, being blamed on disjointment and being stuck in the middle, lies. It was her feeble posturing and her frail two-facedness. Jenny denying being controlled by a minion, lies. Because if you look at the episode What the Fall, where they sat down with Mary, you will clearly see Lisa signaling Jenny, and that's when she breaks out into the black scent and the mannerisms. And then when Mary calls Heather, when Bad Weather accuses Mary of calling Heather a whore as a dig, I think that was a lie too because it was actually a fact. What do you think? That's it. Bye.
I can't. All right. Claire, I don't know if this is true, but Claire says this. I saw a blind item that implies that Angie outed her stepchild as transgender on camera at the charity event without the child's consent for a storyline. Angie and her stepchild don't get along. Oh, I don't know if that's true, but if it is, ain't no good gonna come to you, Angie. This is why you every season you try to be on this show and they are just not interested. And you have the lifestyle. You have the husband. You have the lifestyle. You have a story. But, all right. In my opinion, I'm going to bring up what's going on. In my opinion.
Hey, how you doing, Kempire?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm better hearing your voice. Let me tell you something. This reunion was dry. It was drier than a biscuit, okay? It was just dry. And it pissed me off how they kept trying to, insinuate something that wasn't true. And my thing was, if y'all think Lisa wasn't controlling the whole narrative of Jenny and her antics, I ain't buying it. I think Lisa is racist as well, and she don't like nobody. She don't like nobody that don't want to do whatever she wants them to do. She kept saying, "Oh, well, y'all tried to make me look bad and put that on TV." Baby, can't nobody put nothing on TV if you hadn't said it. I'm just saying. But I probably won't watch the rest of them, but I'll be watching you.
We appreciate that, in my opinion. Oh, she just dropped out. All right, y'all gonna start just dropping out. Y'all trying to do Obi. Doobie, thank you so much for the super chat. Doobie says, just join the chat as an old white woman. Oh, I love the class on racism. I was ignorant to this difference and appreciate you breaking it down, Sir Kempire. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat and I appreciate that you learned something today. Okay, Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says, I love the Pharrell of the Real Housewives world. I.e. New York equals racism, Potomac equals colorism, Durban, which I haven't watched, equals tribalism / prejudice. Oh, thank you so much, Zoe, for the super chat. All right, let me get to some of these callers. Miss Bernice, I'm gonna bring you up. What's going on, Miss Bernice?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
Well, how are you?
I'm fine. Okay, let's break it down.
Okay.
Okay. Lisa is the Kyle Richards of Potomac, Salt Lake City, because she liked doing her dirt, but when they call her on board for her dirt, she plays victim. I never said that. Will you hear me say that? No, I didn't say that. Meredith said that she never take accountability for what she do. She wanna orchestrate and be behind the scenes and be in everybody's storyline. But when they call her on it, and she gonna be typical again for this reunion. I never said that. Y'all not my friends. I'm leaving. Girl, bye. Okay. Go drink some of your tequila that don't nobody else want. Okay.
Oh.
Who? And Heather and her cousin Mary get Whitney. That child. Mary was trying to give her the opportunity to talk to her one-on-one, but when Mary smelled the alcohol, she said, I'm not going to do it because, mind you, you cannot talk clearly to somebody that's drunk. You're wasting your time. And Whitney, being inebriated, didn't understand that. You acting like a child. Well, why would you talk to me? She said, oh, I smell the alcohol. Okay, we have to floor this for another time because what I'm going to say, you're not going to understand. And then you're going to get in your feelings and you're going to have a temper tantrum. I ain't got time for that. Okay? I got all these other helpers coming at me. And this victim over here, Miss Jenny, well, why won't she talk to me? Grow up. Grow the heck up. You know? Because they kept gaslighting Mary, and Mary wasn't there, and that was pissing me off. Yeah. Because like Heather and Whitney, I'm not watching next season. Only reason I'm gonna watch is if Jen get convicted or whatever. But other than that, when they come,
oh my god! You said if Jen gets convicted,
hey. I watch for her court process, innocent until proven guilty. But when them other helpers come on the screen, I'm gonna mute them. I'll mute them.
All right, Miss Bernice, we always love it when you call in.
Ooh, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Miss Bernice, so wait, if Jen, it took me a second. I said, wait, she just said if Jen gets convicted? All right, let me get to some of these super chats really quickly. Hold on. Hold on, I read that one already. All right, these are not super chats. These are comments that I wanted to highlight. Nikolai wants to know where can I watch Durban. So I started watching Durban while I was in Amsterdam on Hayu, but Hayu is not available here in the States unless you have a VPN. That's a whole other situation. But it's also now available on Discovery Plus, along with some of the other international Real Housewives, like Johannesburg and Cheshire. And there's another one that I can't think of right now. But anyways, that's where you can watch some of them. I think Durban's on there as well. Okay. Thank you so much. Adorable says, love your review app, but after the season, I will not be watching all of those racist women from Salt Lake City. That first part of the video was triggering, especially listening to Jen. I think you mean Jenny, right? I think you mean Jenny, because Jen is a whole other situation. All right. Tatiana, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Tatiana? You're muted, Tatiana.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. So, Kempire, I just have like two things to say. Okay. One is you already highlighted about racism. I don't want, you know how people are like, Real Housewives, they should not talk about race on the show. I agree, but for a different reason, because they get it wrong. They say things that are incorrect, and they have millions of people watching, and now people are like, Black people can be racist too. No, look up and do some reading before you start talking about these big concepts. Now we have Jenny over here talking about like she's the guru on racism. Like, stop. So, yeah, I need them to stick to what they know, which is, you know, lying, fighting, all the rest. And my second thing is I actually got a little bit of respect for Jen at this first part of this reunion.
Jen Shaw.
Yeah, Jen Shaw. Because she said when because she was like, Jenny said that Mary didn't want to listen to her and all this other type of stuff. And she said, because you came in so hot from the jump. And Mary felt like, you know, once you did that, like you now are on her bad side. And so like I like that Jen in that situation tried to hold her accountable. And also too, when Jen was like, don't say it's controversial to be friends with me. I really liked how Jen stuck up for herself this reunion. She was like, you know, if you want to be friends with me, be friends with me. All this like putting a disclaimer on it, like that's not being a friend. And I like that she called Lisa out. So all in all, I think Jen had a first good start to the reunion. I appreciated that. And also, like I said before, stay away from racism. Y'all don't know these big amorphous concepts and things y'all can't get right. So I'm gonna need y'all to just keep it on mute. So that's it.
Tatiana, we appreciate you calling in.
You too. Bye.
Bye. I didn't see any lies. I didn't see any lies. And this again, never mind. I was going to a rant. Margot, I will bring you up. What's going on, Margot?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. So I have some quick points. So the reunion was boring, but I had a game. So every time someone cried or Lisa said my kids, right? Or Jen Shaw gave Jenny like the meanest side eye, I took a shot. Halfway through, it was the most entertaining thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I was loving it. I could get through it. You have to get your little, you know, game point cards on. Every time someone cried, I had like 4 shots before like halfway through. I was like, this is great. I love the Housewife franchise.
Oh, no.
The ladies' outfits look better in motion. Jen Shaw still looks kind of like a cockatoo, but I felt her vibe when she was like pushing them back. I was like, feel the breeze and the feathers, girl. I feel you. It's hot and light. I don't like Heather anymore. I could not stop laughing when she had to describe to Andy why they were calling her a Lego. It's so bad. But I was like, why are we describing body shaming? This is so bad, but it's funny because she was like, I'm square shaped. And I was like, no, don't say that because now I can't unsee it. And I was like, I don't want to think like that. I want to think happy thoughts. Jen, I absolutely love the fact that they had her talking about her experience with racism and being an immigrant. My parents are immigrants. I was like, speak on it because you want to know why? You full of ass. And this is not going to age well at all. And the ladies all nodding their head in agreement. And I'm like, oh, this isn't going to age well for anybody besides Meredith, to be honest. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Whitney gets on my nerves. She's like that girl in high school who can't handle her alcohol. And it's like, oh, you know? It's like, you know, she's like the older boyfriend who buys her beer. It's gross. Like, I don't. And Lisa can. I think Lisa should move back to New York and replace Ramona. Oh. I think that would be interesting. I love because they're all podsters, but they're all podsters, right? But Ramona's just annoying, but Lisa's like newly annoying. So it's like new annoying is like good. Like I want to see Lisa in like Luann get into it. Luann like, I'm a countess, and Lisa's like, I have tequila. You know, I want to see all of that. But overall, this season was it was good because of Mary. I love Meredith because I hated her outfits though, in motion, not in motion, stale, whatever. But they needed Mary here, but Mary didn't go because she was like, this is my show, Otis. Like she was like, if I don't show up, they won't come. I'm Queen Mary, God of the cult church, whatever it's called. They're not gonna show up. So I think Mary did a good thing. She's kind of like, you'll miss me when I'm gone kind of thing.
Go
and
out
Meredith,
on top.
I think that Meredith might have messaged her, or they would have been talking, and it was like, girl, hold it down for me, because once I leave, they're going to want to make sure you come back and give you some more money, because you're not getting paid anything.
Yeah. Like $6,000 per episode this season.
Oh, yeah. And one more thing. If you like when they were playing Jenny stuff with Mary, did you catch that Mary, when she would describe when Jenny was like attacking her, she would use certain trigger words that were in Jenny's posts, her racist posts? She would use certain trigger words. So I was rewatching that. So I kind of went back because I'm bored, and I was like looking through it and then reading through what they had from Jenny's post. And I was like, they're very similar, which makes me think that Mary told Meredith, and they went to production with it. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're so aggressive. I feel attacked. I feel in danger. Like all of that. I was like, these are very specific words to say for someone throwing a cup at you.
Oh, all right. Margot, we appreciate you calling in.
Love you. Bye.
I do want to say, wait, hold on a second. Thank you so much, Luciana, for the super chat. Thank you, Kempire, for speaking the truth about racism. Look, I cited my source. I'll post the link in the description of this episode later, so you guys can check out the source that I got that from. But thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. All right. Willie Hardaway, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Willie?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just want to say I'm new to your channel, and I'm really enjoying all the content.
Thank you.
I find myself, I love all the Housewives franchise, and I did not watch season 1 of this franchise, so I'm going to preface my comments for that, because I just wasn't interested in seeing these entitled non-people of color. So that's another story for another day. But anyways, I was triggered by watching this episode, by watching how they gaslighted Mary, and how Jenny, she used Mary, and she knew everything that she was saying, this black sense. She knew what she was doing, right? So I just didn't understand why now she wants to play the victim. Well, I didn't do that, and I'm not racist, and black people can be racist too. No, ma'am. No. Mary was just Mary, and you wanted a storyline. I've never seen a housewife before who was so thirsty. Like, she wanted camera time. When she threw that glass, she knew what she was doing. You didn't throw it at the floor. You threw it at her. You wanted a storyline for next season, but the gag was you're not coming back because your past caught up with her. That's one. Two, I just don't really understand why this mean girl trope of Heather and Whitney, like that's not cute. Like, you guys come off like these women or these girls who have some sort of, you're internally sad about yourself, so you project it on everybody else. Like, you guys are just, it was horrible. And I don't, Whitney's elitist attitude, like, she always wanted to come off and make sure everybody, well, I'm Whitney, this is what I thought, and she needs to come apologize. No, nobody needs to apologize to you. So I just find myself like, I understood why I didn't watch it season 1, and I'm not watching it season 3. This was, it's not entertaining to me. I only watched it because I wanted to see Jen get arrested. Like, when I saw that on social media, I was like, oh, somebody about to get arrested on Housewives? I'm going to be tuning in. And then after I watched this, I was like, these women are not interesting besides Mary. Like, Mary, you carried this season on your back. You can go back to your cult church or whatever you do. The ladies, you did what you needed to do. You understood the assignment, because when you left, they're all talking about you. So next season, what are they going to talk about? Unless Jen gets put in chains, there's nothing to talk about.
Okay. Willie, we appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Every time y'all bring up Judge Shaw going to jail, I'm like, I'm shocked. Why am I shocked? I talked about it at the top of this. But I just, look. Bravo, you have a problem on your hands. I know they're currently casting for this new season. I'm hearing rumors that there are some new ladies in the mix for Salt Lake City, but I'm sure they asked Lisa Barlow to get these people like she did before. They have a problem. So that's the trend I'm hearing from all of you, is that you're not going to watch next season. All right. Okay. Rakita, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Rakita?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So I usually get very entertained by the Housewives franchises, but Salt Lake City, for some reason, is super annoying. With the exception of Meredith, Mary, and Jen, if she's innocent, I found all of them to be super like, y'all are grown women trying to get another grown woman to be your friend, and then holding Meredith accountable for her friend not wanting to be y'all friend. Like that episode where they were sitting at the table questioning Mary about, do she like Jenny? When she said no the first time, if I was Jenny, I would have said, oh, okay, cool. And I went and tried to have a conversation with her afterwards. Yeah. Y'all are grown women arguing with another grown woman about who she want to be friends with. And then the second thing that grind my gears is they always forget about why this lady don't want to be y'all friend. Y'all talk smack about her father and his memorial. Y'all talk smack about this woman and her church. No matter how you feel about her church or how she conducts her church, it's still her church and her business. And then you're talking about somebody's father who in real life passed away, but then on the same breath, in the same conversation on the same weekend, want to discuss why they don't want to be y'all friend. Really? Do y'all even want to be your friend? Like, who would want to be your friend with that? If I had friends like that, then why would I want enemies? They are mad at Meredith and Mary because Meredith and Mary are real about the women who they think they are, and they don't want no parts of it. They would rather them be shady and pretend to be their friend and pretend like everything's okay instead of keeping it real. And I say all that to say, I love you and have a good night.
Thank you, Rakita. We appreciate you. Have a good night. That was a read. Look, that was a read. B, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, B? Thank you, Rakita. We appreciate you. B, I'm going to bring you back up in a second once you turn off everything in the background. Let me see if you're ready for me. B, no, you're not. B, I'm about to bring you back in a second. We'll come back, B, if you're just hearing us. All right, Lakeisha, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Lakeisha?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good. So I just want to kind of discuss the points of annoyance. And the first one would be Jen Shaw's outfit. The second one would be Meredith's outfit. Even though her son designed it, like, yeah, this is not the time for you to design my outfit. Then let's go into everybody's talked about it, them gaslighting the point of Mary, but they didn't just only gaslight Mary. They gaslighted the rest of the cast except for Jenny's friend sitting beside her. Everyone went on an apology tour about giving her compliments. I mean, there's multiracial people, African American, Asian, Japanese, French, European, that have slanted eyes. Mary gave her a compliment on that. She apologized. She didn't know she was being offensive. And then you got what's the Lego lady? What's her name? I forgot her name.
Heather, not Lego lady.
I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, Heather, bad weather. Yeah, Heather. So Heather even had to apologize because she said she looked like an anime character and that she was beautiful. Like, everyone went on this apology tour of this fake, oh, I feel pegged out and racist, BS. And I want to know, why does Bravo keep doing that? They'll put an Asian or a Korean woman on the show, and it's always a focal point on each one. If you actually look into that, each show they have one, and it's this big thing, like, oh my gosh, I was picked at about my slanted eyes. Oh, and then the other thing is that, another one of your callers made a point on, they were upset with Meredith. But I just think it was like Meredith said in her words, vile. It is so vile for you to question me about my father who actually died. He actually died. Like, how are you asking me, am I having a memorial? Yes, if I chose to have one the week before, the week after, I had one. And how dare you even question me? It was just crazy. But I will be watching next season because I want to see the drama unfold. And I love the drama. I love all the shows for the drama. Yes. So I will be watching it.
All right, Lakeisha, we appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
Okay. One thing I do have to emphasize, and we've talked about this when Mary brought up the slanted eyes, that I want to emphasize, and very much like our experience as being a person of color or Black, that if that is her experience in regards to people using that in a derogatory way, I don't want to take away from that experience and her not liking that. Yes, you can feel the way you want to feel about what she did on her Facebook, but she is still a person of color, and that is not just an issue that she's experienced. I've heard a lot of Asian people talk about how that was used against them in a derogatory way. So I do want to emphasize that. Okay, Tyler, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Tyler?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm at work. 2 seconds, but so I just wanted to say, Jenny and her, just her. I'm a person of color. I'm a person of color. BS is just so fake. But then on the other hand, you talking about George Floyd. It just didn't make sense. You're contradicting yourself, honey. You want to play the race card, but when George Floyd was on the ground, he was just another person. That was race. If that makes sense. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in, Tyler. All right. I think one of the things that we're forgetting is that, yes, Jenny and those racist Facebook posts, I kind of wish they came out during the season. That way, hopefully she would show up to the reunion and that she would answer to those things. But I feel like that those posts came out such at a convenient time. Facebook, although her account was private, there were plenty of people on there that could have exposed her. I'm sure there were plenty of, look, she had family members exposing her. So I'm kind of, I'm surprised that, I'm just interested. It's interesting timing that stuff came out. You think it was Mary? All right. Petra, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. We're going to take these last couple of callers, guys. Petra, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire.
How are you?
Hi, first time caller here. I just wanted to make a point about Angie because I saw someone made a comment saying she should be a full-time housewife next season. I don't know. I feel like seeing how Heather and Whitney have become very unhinged this season. I don't think they should bring Angie on as a full-time housewife because I feel like, we don't need any more inbred cousins in that mix. Sorry. I also think, like I said in the comments, I don't know what the point of the disclaimer was, on the episode, because I don't think there was like a conscious effort made to edit the episode. Like they didn't do anything. Like all they did was just put that comment, and then they just went ahead and just had the race conversation and had Jenny making the comment about Asian hate, like as though she was supposed to be like a good spokesperson for that cause. I don't know why they would do that. And I also feel like Bravo needs to make a conscious effort to stop filming the reunions way before the season ends. Like we had 6 episodes left, and whatever
season 2.
Yeah, and whatever conversations they have become very inauthentic. And I feel like a lot of the reunions, like what happens during the reunions, a big part of it is what happens off the show. Like if you see Potomac, for example, like most of the things that come up during the reunion are things that go on social media and things like that. And I feel like if they had filmed the reunion, like maybe an episode before the season finale or something, Mary would have been on the reunion because she would have had that support to come on to the reunion, like having that, foresight to know, this is like Now we can't have, say, for example, Jane from Oklahoma asking the girls, why did you have a conversation before Mary left during Lisa's party about who threw the glass better, or did Mary throw? Did Jenny throw the glass better, or did Jen throw? They were literally mocking Mary, at the party, and we didn't know that if we hadn't watched like the after show, for example. So I feel like Bravo needs to make the conscious effort to film the reunion like closer to, the finale, so we can have a full picture and everyone can be part of the conversation. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Petra, for calling in.
No worries. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. And, a lot of people have said that about the timing of the reunions. Logistically, I don't know if they can do that because of timing and production and what, especially now in this age of COVID and testing and making sure everyone's good to be a part of the show. One of the things that we didn't talk about was the set. Look, the set. That little hole that they had in the middle? Do I have a picture of the hold on, y'all. No, I don't have it. Do I? I don't know if I have it. No, I don't. No, I don't think I have it. No. Anyways, the hole was full with water, but they also had to be assisted to their chairs because they really couldn't run off the stage. I was like, they need to do that in all the reunions. Oh, my Lord. Hold on. Who's bashing who in the chat? Please, guys. Please, none of that. None of that. We are all here. Let's have our opinions, but be respectful of each other so we continue to be able to have live chats like this. Okay? Thank you. All right. Tawu?
Hi, Kempire. It's Taiwo.
Say again?
Taiwo.
Okay. All right. How are you?
I'm good. Calling from Amsterdam. It's like 6 minutes to 1 a.m. I literally just stayed up to watch you, and I actually only watched the reunion because I knew you were going to review it. So it was like, let me do my homework before coming on the Kempire show today. So I just wanted to say, yeah, just cheers from Amsterdam. This chat has really been really hot today and really entertaining and educational. So you've really put a smile on my face all the way from here from Amsterdam. So yeah, I just wanted to call and say thanks because everybody's already said everything that I wanted to say. So there's no point of repeating it. So, but yeah, thanks for everything, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. Go to sleep.
Yep, I will. Bye.
All right. I see a couple of people that wanted me to drop the call-in link again. I'm going to drop it again. But for those that are calling in after B, you need to make it quick because it's almost 7 p.m. here. And you know how I get when I'm hungry. I'm like Candy from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Serious about my food. Tauruses, look, if you didn't know, now you know. Look, if you didn't know, now you know. Hold on. Let me just drop it one more time, and that's it. Look, that's it. Okay. B, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect.
So I just want to say bad weather was really stormy over there. It was really stormy over there. It's actually kind of sad to see Heather just like, it's just really sad to see her turn into this. I was such a huge Heather fan last season, and I wish she would just kind of like ease off of Lisa. We know Lisa's not perfect. She is not perfect, but like just bringing it up constantly, like nitpicking at her is so extremely annoying. It like has to just like chill for a bit.
Yeah.
Would love for it to chill. Also, thank you for bringing up all the conversation about racism versus prejudice. I really wish Andy would kind of educate himself on that and bring that up at the reunion. But overall, yeah, the reunion was a little bit annoying. I think Meredith was the most consistent person overall. But I'm looking forward to see what else Meredith has to give because she's coming with facts, she's coming with heat, and yeah, I'm here for it.
All right. B, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right, we're going to take these last 3 callers. So Rocky, Sharon, and hold on, let me scroll down. Anthony, we're going to take your calls again. That's my hangry stare. Oh wait, I forgot to read these comments that I wanted to highlight. Hanan, thank you so much. Kempire, you're becoming my favorite YouTuber. Thank you. Jesus says, let's not minimize stupid racial feature comments or any other stupid comments about a specific race now. Just because it's not your experience doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Exactly. And that's what I was getting at earlier. So thank you. All right. Rocky, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Rocky?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, my tourist brother. Yes.
Yes.
So happy to be here. Also, I just want to say I agree with everybody in their comments. Like, I just think Andy is really biased, and like the whole glass throwing, even in season 1, that should have been addressed. That should have been like we don't stand for this, and it wasn't. So it's like it's gonna keep happening, and I'm glad they are kicking people off the show, but I don't know about new people. Like, how would that even mesh? How would that even look? So that's just my thoughts on it, and I hope you eat and have a great night.
Thank you so much, Rocky. Have a good night. All right. Sharon, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Sharon?
Hey, how you doing, Kempire?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, sorry I missed you last night, but I watched it 3 times and I fell asleep both times.
Oh. Because it was boring?
Yeah, I guess so, because then I guess it was about 9:30. I don't know what time it was. I said, well, I can check it with Kempire. I went to reach for my phone and I went back to sleep, and I didn't wake up until 5:30 this morning.
All right. So your take on this is that it was boring.
It was very boring. Very, very boring.
Well, we appreciate you, Sharon, calling in.
Yeah, talk to you later.
You too. Bye. All right, Nikolai, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Nikolai?
Hey, what up, Kempire?
Not much. How are you?
Doing good. I just want to make a comment about Ginny and her black scent.
Yes.
Like I was saying, my best friend is from Long Beach. I'm from California as well. So growing up from like 12 to 18, I spent a lot of time out there, and she lived in Long Beach right by Watts. So I don't know. After 6 years, I didn't pick up a black scent. I would definitely say like my dialect is different because of that, but I just don't think that's an excuse for her to say that it's from where she grew up from. I didn't grow up there, so maybe I don't know, like I said, but after spending so much time there, it didn't happen for me.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Nikolai, before I let you go?
No, that's all. Have a good day.
You too. All right. Awesome Speaks. I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Awesome?
Hey, Kempire. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. All right. So I just have a couple of points, right? The first point I want to make is that the outfits were absolutely horrible. Okay. I'm glad they asked Jen to take those gloves off. I don't know what she was thinking with those old school diamonds hanging from the gloves in addition to her dress. It was horrible. Lisa, she has no butt. I don't know why she was walking away. It was horrible. But I just want to say Heather and Whitney are my biggest disappointments this season. One, because I didn't like, in that last episode, you saw how Heather was trying to encourage Janine to continue to keep walking, right, with Mary, as she was leaving right before she threw the glass. Okay. And that was disheartening. And Whitney, what is your purpose really in like trying to apologize to somebody when she's drunk? Yeah. Those were the only 2 points I wanted to make. And Jen not knowing her charges, that is a whole nother sad thing.
Well, no, when we saw that scene this time around, as opposed to the trailer, she knew her charges. I think she says that she doesn't know later on. So we shall see. I think that was just them trying to make it funny.
Yes, or make it more scandalous for everybody to tune in. But thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, guys, here are my final thoughts because we are already live almost an hour and a half, which I understand and I appreciate you all being here for our recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 2 Reunion Part 1. Of course, there are 2 more parts. Part 3, where's my, hold on. Where's Coordinator Shaw? I can't wait for this moment. I can't wait for this moment, Coordinator Shaw. I love Coordinator Shaw. Don't get me wrong. I think he is such a stand-up guy. I don't understand how that relationship works, but maybe, opposites attract, balance out each other. I don't know. But that will become later in the, I think it was part 3 when the husbands come out. Was Seth there? I don't remember seeing Seth. Anyways. Guys, here are my final thoughts on this part 1. It was boring. If I had to rate it, definitely probably like a 5. And based on everyone's reaction here, now I'm thinking like a 4. But I will give it a 5. But only reason I would probably end up giving it a 4 was because when they were talking about such sensitive topics, I felt as an executive producer, Andy is an executive producer of this franchise. He has a responsibility to make sure that these conversations, especially on race, when he's not educated on it or able to challenge someone on what they're saying, then you at least have someone there that can have the conversation. Even if you don't want to give up your chair at the reunion, at least have someone that can. You just bringing up, well, Mary says that she can't be racist, wasn't enough. I made sure before I came live today, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I have the right words to explain to people what racism versus a racial prejudice is. Let me go to some scholars that have looked and studied this. That's all you had to do. You didn't even have to bring somebody out. I would prefer you bring someone out, but you could have looked it up and educated yourself, especially as someone that is over a franchise where you're having a lot of conversations on race, not just in Salt Lake City, but in New York, in Beverly Hills, in Potomac. That's your job. You're making millions of dollars. This has made you a very rich man. The least you could do, you could have your assistant look it up and then bring it back to you. How did this become about Andy Cohen? Because he's at the top of the chain. Andy, you want to sit in that seat all the time on television, so you're going to get the brunt of the criticism. Part 1 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion was lame. It was lame. And I do see that Bravo and the production company and Andy Cohen are going to have a problem for season 3. Yes, we saw photos and video of Jen Shaw and Heather filming at Mary's church. You can't use Mary's church anymore. You can't use Mary as a storyline anymore. I'm not interested in that because Mary's not there. Mary's not there. I really don't think that they will end up using it. Omar says he definitely ain't no Carlos Kane. Jesus, thank you so much for the super chat. He said, let's do this. Why not do a special before reunion? That's an idea. Don't give them ideas because then it just feels like they're just doing it to, Anyways, guys, I appreciate you all calling in. I appreciate everyone that sent in the super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone being a part of the conversation and for the most part, being respectful in our live chat and our subscribers only chat. We do that every once in a while here on the channel. So subscribe if you're watching and you haven't subscribed and you want to chat with our listeners or you want to weigh in. Be sure to subscribe. Road to 100,000 subscribers. Here we come. We are ready and waiting. We know there are thousands of you that watch but have not subscribed. I know I post a lot. I know it's a lot of content, but be sure to check out everything that you missed this weekend. You're not just getting reality TV recaps here on the channel. You are getting everything in pop culture, including a recent story about Tim Leisner. And I know you're like, who? Kimora Lee Simmons. I think she still goes by that. Husband, and I put that in quotes. That's a juicy story. Netflix, Shonda, somebody needs to do that story. He talked about faking his divorce in order to marry Kimora. We talked about that. We talked about Big Sean and his thang leaking this weekend. Check out everything that you missed here on the channel, including an update on Kanye and what's going on in that court case. Kanye is now saying that he's not the one posting on his social media. All right. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Thank you again to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com. Everyone, don't forget to show love to our moderators. Our moderators, show love to them. Thank you, moderators. Again, moderators, just a reminder. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Just a reminder to the mods. We allow people to have their opinions as long as they're not being prejudiced, racist, sexist, all the ists, okay? Please allow people to have their conversations in the comment section and in our live chat. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Thank you again for the super chats. We appreciate you for helping us keep the lights on here at the channel. Happy Black History Month. This is the last day. Again, thank you to everyone that donated to our fundraiser. We appreciate you guys so much. We here at the channel in less than 6 months have raised over $12,000 for charity. So thank you to all of you that have donated or shared those fundraisers. We appreciate you. We can't do it without you. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. Again, show love to each other. And oh, don't forget, a new episode of my podcast, Kempire Radio, is now out. And that's where you get conversation that I don't talk about anywhere else, I promise. Kempire Radio on all of your favorite podcast platforms. I will see you guys later. I'm going to go get something to eat. I need a chef. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Let me play some music to get out of here. Shout out to my Tauruses. This is our theme song.
Yeah, I know, you was right and I was wrong. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket, ay. Yeah, I know, you was right and I admit it, that trade can be toxic, ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, I know, you was right. Hey, girl, I hate to see you cry, but that happens every single time we fight. Look, I'm far from a perfect guy, and I do anything to try to make it right. But you, babe, look, I know sometimes I act like I'm unbothered. If I end up losing you, babe, you make me better. But we have this forever, I promise I will change. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket, ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I admit it, that trade can be toxic, ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, I know, you was right. The energy ain't been the same, but if we work on it, we surely can regain. Look, I went and booked a private plane, a little vacation in Barcelona, Spain. What you say? Spend some time just you and me to rekindle a special little thing. Ay, I know we always want to agree, can't always have it my way, but I don't want you to leave. Please stay. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket. Ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I admit it, that trade can be toxic, ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, I know, you was right. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket, ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I admit it, that trade can be toxic, ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, I know, you was right. Hey. You was right and I was wrong. You was right and I was wrong. You was right and I was wrong. You was right and I was wrong.